You see, people don't understand. You can lead with passion first and you can go to a dead end.
Right. Yeah.
Right? Music was a passion. Soccer was a passion. Dead end, right? But purpose was something where God was saying, nah, this is what I need you to do. I need you to help my kids, help my people, right? And I grew to love it so much, it became a passion. So after the purpose, and you find your calling, you find your purpose, then comes the passion, because now I'm passionate.
Welcome back to another exciting episode of Traffic Sales and Profit Show. My name is Lamar. I'm your host. And check this out. Today we're going to talk about one of the biggest booming, I was about to say boomingest, I don't even know if that's a word. Boomingest, let's use it, let's go with it. Industries that you ever have seen, right, in the history of business. And I got with me today, this dude, he go by the Prince of Home Healthcare, right? Josh Newell. And not only is the Prince of Home Healthcare, he is the CEO of New Life Private Care. And he is here today. He got an amazing story. He got an amazing backstory. He's built an amazing business in a very short amount of time. And I asked him, come share it with the TSP people, please. And guess what? The brother's here.
Thank you, man.
What's going on, man? I'm excited to have you here.
Me too, man. I'm excited to be here.
We finally made it happen. We were trying to make this happen.
I was like, when I got the call, I was like, what? All right, cool. Time to go. Let's get busy. So yeah, thanks for having me, man. You and your team.
No problem. So I already know for the first few seconds, people like, that ain't no Atlanta accent that dude got. Right. Let's start with like where you from?
Right.
Before we get into the business, which the biggest stuff is like it's gonna blow your mind. We talk about this business front in a second. But like, what is your personal story?
So I'm from London,
Okay.
London, England. Small place called Islington, which is north of London. Amazing place, very cold. I don't know if have you been there before or?
Man, October will be my very first time.
Really? You
Yes.
gotta let me know so I can just,
Yeah. I want to. Because we trying to get a lot done while we there on the ground.
and stuff. Yeah, we're gonna talk about that. But so London, England's my birthplace, representing, and yeah, it's what can I say? It's an amazing place, man, for culture. In the sense of it's so multicultural. We have everyone. Going to school there was amazing because growing up, you have everyone, different cultures. Like I'm talking like 15 different cultures in one classroom.
Wow.
So you get the explosion of cultures and learning from, this guy and that girl and that guy. And it was amazing growing up. My first love was football and what I guess you guys call it football. Soccer.
Yeah.
Soccer here, right? Which is, I'm still trying to figure out why there's such a change.
Don't do us like that. Don't do us like that.
All right, cool. No, all right, cool. But yeah, so I was a professional academy football player for 5 years, from academy all the way 14, 15, got signed all the way up to around 2021 for a team called Tottenham Hotspurs, one of the biggest clubs in the world. And that was amazing.
So tell me about that. So is that like, because around that age, right? Still like school age.
Yeah.
So is that kind of like a junior league to the majors? Was it pro? Like what's that?
So
it was semi-pro. Like what does that look like?
From here, because here you have like travel clubs.
Yes.
And then if you're lucky, you go through college and stuff. Us, we can be signed from young and still be paid from like 14. So I was signed to the academy where they were paying for my expenses to go, to school and things like that. But then you work your way all the way up to the senior level and then to the first team. And first team, you can break through anywhere between, 17, 18 is average then. But now it's like around, 19, 20. So I got signed at 14 years old, very young, through the academy. And I was able to, travel so many places, in Europe, in England as well, and play against different teams, Manchester United and Liverpool and Arsenal and Inter Milan in Italy and Barcelona in Spain. And it was just amazing. And you have to understand, being exposed to that from 14, 15 years old, playing all these tournaments around the world, right, was amazing to me, because it's like I got exposed to a quality of life from so young. My story is very different. Like I hear a lot of different stories from this and struggling and stuff, but I have to embrace where I came from. And I was exploded to greatness from young.
And was that always your dream? Like, hey, I want to be a professional footballer?
Yeah, my dad actually, that was kind of my dad's dream. And then, you know, when your father's dream, it conditions your mind. And that's the culture in England. Everything is just football. Every street corner, it's like churches, having a church on each corner in America, right? It's like that. Everywhere there's a field. You know, we're playing concrete and stuff like that. So that's all I wanted to do as a youth. And it was amazing, man. I had a great time. Sadly, I got a bad injury when I was about 19, 20 with my knee. And that's kind of why I had to step back, because the doctor at the time said if I keep playing on it, I'm going to, you know, wear out my ligaments and I might not be able to even walk properly. So I had to, that was very, very heartbreaking. I think that was my first heartbreak, man, where I couldn't even play.
Yeah, I was just about to ask you about that, because if you're like, hey, this is a dream I have,
right,
this is my big dream, and not only you had a big dream, I want to be professional, but you were on the path.
Yeah,
it's like one thing to have a dream, but you sitting at the crib watching on TV, like one day I'm gonna be like Mike, but you ain't playing ball. But literally, you're on the path, so it's like things are going the way they should go, but then everything's taken from you all at one moment. Like in that moment, like mentally, what did that do to you?
Man, it crushed me, because like you just said, it's true. It's not the fact that, okay, my contract was up, or, you know, they got rid of me. It was the fact of, no, like he's promising, he's going to the first team, right? I was a lefty, and in the whole entire squad, there was only like 2 lefties, right? So they always looked at us as the players that had balance to the team, right? If you know football, we have 11 players, and each position's from midfield, defense, all the way to strikers. I was like a left winger. And then I went to striker, but I always had my position. No one could sub me, or like they needed me. So I knew that I had a good path to going all the way to the top. So that day, I never forget it till today. I'll be honest with you, it crushed me for about 2 years. Like 2 years, I was just out of it. Like when I couldn't play, I didn't want to do nothing. I was depressed. I was like, no, I don't want to do nothing else. Like this is, because that's all we know over there. We don't know that there's other avenues. I don't even know about the word called purpose, which we're going to get into later, but because it was a passion for me. So it's like, you know, it was devastating, man, as a kid to you know, get a bad injury like that and not be able to.
What do you feel like helped you come out of that? Out of that time?
I think me and my mom's very, very, very close. She was my driving force. She's originally from Jamaica. So I don't know if you know, in a Caribbean background, in a household, you can't be sitting on your butt doing nothing.
Y'all be having my jobs. Y'all be having my jobs, man. I get it, you know. I ain't want to say it. I heard it. See it on TV, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it was a case of, all right, she was like, all right, son, pick yourself up. You ain't going to be sitting here doing nothing, right? So you either go and get a job, right, and work long hours, or you go and pick something else that, you know, you have many gifts. I'm sure, you know, God gives us many gifts. He just give you one gift. It's for you to be able to take the gift that God gives us and put it inside you and execute on that. So I was out for a couple of years, like I said, and my mum bugging me. From a young, I never had the knack to, I've worked jobs and stuff, little here and there, but I kept leaving every like 3 months or every 6 months. And I'm like, why am I not settled in? Like, I'll be working my way up to like supervisor or manager and stuff like that, and very quickly. And I just wasn't happy. So I stumbled upon music, right? Then this is going to be weird, because it's very rare to see a sportsman go into the music.
Correct, yeah.
Right? It's very rare. Very hard to see. And become successful at.
I'm about to say, that's the hard part, because they be going.
Right.
They just be trash.
Right, exactly. So I stumbled on that from, again, London, and still today is about sports and music culture. We're very tight and very small back then. So I stumbled on music and just watching certain, you know, groups, rappers and singers and things like that do their thing. And it was amazing for me. It was amazing. I wasn't even that much exposed to American music so much, but it was just our local, you know, people at the time that was killing it. And I wanted to do that, man. It felt like therapy for me. Like, wow, the way they put rhymes together and this and that. And so I wanted to get into that. So again, I didn't know how to do music. I didn't know how to rap. I didn't know I had to study that and understand. And I think the first person that made me, after like the British artists, I'll say a few names like So Solid. You might not know them. You want to, you know, check them out. They're amazing. They kind of inspired me. But I think like what really made me want to take it serious was watching then Ja Rule.
Okay.
And Ja Rule, because I love the fact that he could sing and he could rap, and I like to do a bit of singing. I don't think I was the best singer, but I like to put melody in my raps as well. So I love the fusion of what he done. So I used to watch a lot of that, you know, practice that until I created my own skill set of rapping. And yeah, it became interesting, man. Like I worked hard with a lot of producers, and I kept training for a couple of years, and yeah, I was able to put my first record, and I made it to national radio. My first record, just through again networking, and just being good at what, you know, putting the craft into effect. And yeah, it blew up. Fast forward, I was able to do tours. I started supporting, you know, 50 Cent. In G-Unit days, he wasn't as big as he was just blowing up the game.
Did you let 50 Cent and G-Unit know that you were a big Ja Rule fan?
No.
Okay, I'm just checking.
No.
Make it sure.
That's good.
Make it sure. I was making.
That's very interesting as well, right? That's actually.
You got to navigate.
But that was good, because I'm trying to think to myself, I don't even think it was publicized that they were beefing in as far as in England, because when I say I support them, they came over to the UK, and what happens is the record labels puts a warm-up or support act for all the Americans. So if American artists come up, they usually put a UK artist to open up the show for them. So I was one of those guys, right?
Okay.
So yeah, the 50 Cent, the Game, there was Donnell Jones, there was Omarion, there was B2K. Like I was killing it. And every show I'd done, I kept seeing like my fan base grow and grow and grow, and I loved it. But you know what the main thing I loved about being on the stage was it gave me this confidence in me, that if you can perform in front of 5, 10, 15,000 people without being scared, right? And you don't know if you're going to be booed, you don't know if they're going to throw tomatoes at you, or, you know, I just rocked it, man. I loved it. I used to do crazy stuff. I used to jump in the crowd, like in the middle of the stage, just jump in the middle of the crowd. And it was just amazing. I had an amazing time. And again, the transition from sports to being a footballer to music was very hard. It was, I would say, a 4 or 5 year gap for me to transition, but I'd done it, and it was epic. And then taking that forward, I was able to go to Europe, Germany, France, Italy, and
again. So you back traveling again. You think the dream is over, but it's not. It just delayed and it manifests in another form of just being able to do this, which is good. I always tell people, when I worked corporate, I had jobs where like 90+% of the time I would travel, and I loved it. Like I love traveling. I love seeing the country. I love, you know, going to other countries. But when I got married, I just kind of assumed, like, yeah, kids, like, all right, that part of it was a good run, right? I put my little key on the shelf, it was a good run. All right, it's over. But you know, one of the things I always think about that now is that, wow, I travel now, you know, not as much, but healthily, right? As much as I did back then,
right?
But it's just in different lanes, just through my business now, right? When I thought like, hey, I'm married, so I can't do it anymore. Now I travel, but it's just me and Ronnie, my wife. Right. We're traveling together now all the time, which makes it even better. So a lot of times we think that, hey, like this part of my life is over, but I keep saying on these shows, everything we've done in the past leads us up to who we are and where we are today.
Okay.
And that's big. So you're trying to run a hip hop and everything's going. What happened? Because we're not talking to you today as hip hop artists.
Right.
So did it get to a point where you just hung it up? Did something happen?
It got to a point, and I'd done that for like a good 10, 12 years.
Wow.
It was amazing, toured, like I said, done everything. It got to a point though, it got very political. In the music industry, there's always a stigma, right, of political and negative things behind the scenes. And it's absolutely 100% true. There's a lot of things that you have to kind of sacrifice to do certain things or to get to a certain place. And I just wasn't about that. You know, I'm very pure. I'm a very pure person, and I'm very, you know, really close to what I believe in God and stuff like that. So it was going against the principles of what I wanted to do. And not to say for anyone that does do that.
Correct, yeah, right.
It just wasn't for me.
It wasn't for you.
I had tons of contracts on the table from different major, you know, it's like, again, it wasn't the fact of I didn't make it because I did, you know, nobody wanted me. It was the case of like, I just don't really want to do what they want me to do. And one of the things I'll say is just they wanted to control how I do music. And I'm thinking to myself, well, if you scouted me based off the music that you heard,
Correct,
why would
right.
you want to change the form of the music I want to do now just to make it more popular or pop or whatever, when this is my, this is my lane.
If you're a 6 or 7-figure entrepreneur, a Black business owner, and you don't know where to go, if you feel like you're alone, if you feel like you don't have anyone to talk to that gets how you feel or gets the pressures of being a business owner in today's climate, guess what we do? I want to introduce you to the Traffic Sales and Profit Mastermind. Now, in the TSP Mastermind, we have a 12-month program that's going to help you reach your next 6, 7, or 8 figures in business over the course of a year. Now, along that year, we have one-on-one coaching, we have accountability, we have community, we have live events, and everything you need in order to reach the next level. For more information, visit us at www.trafficsalesandprofit.com.
And I never understood that. Again, it was a risk, because then I was thinking to myself, okay, if I'm falling out of love with the political side of music, then I'm going to go back into that state again of I don't know what to do.
Yeah. And that's what I was thinking while you were saying it, because it seems like the second major life shift, but on different terms. Because the first one was kind of like you didn't have anything to do with it.
Right.
It was just like, hey, how the cards kind of shake out. But this one, you exit on your own terms.
Yes.
So how do we get from that and exiting that to you getting here in the States?
Perfect. So I have a lot of family in the States, New York, Georgia, a few other places, Jersey. So,
and where did Jamaicans be?
Yeah, everywhere makes me.
Them all sound like all the Jamaican hotspots.
Exactly.
I know about the Jamaican hotspots.
Yeah, you know where they're at. So I've always been traveling from a little boy, like I said. Even my mum, just to tie it together, my mum, she's been in the healthcare field her entire life, looking after so many different people, but more of the senior carers field.
Okay.
Top manager. She's an inspiration for that, which is weird, because even though she gave me a taste of that as a young kid, that was one of the jobs I was doing, by the way, before I transitioned to music. It was helping her out in the care homes, which in the beginning it was like, it's very rare for a young guy like myself, for anyone to be going into a care home and want to care for people, right? And you think to yourself, I don't want to do something more fun. But I love the fact that she dragged me in there, because again, it taught me everything's supposed to teach you something about yourself. And that taught me compassion and to learn to, give to people when they're in need, So fast forward to what you were saying. After the music industry, and I was like, man, I'm done with this. This is crazy. I'm traveling back and forth to the States. And through family, I met my wife now. Chanel, and I met her in Florida. I kept going to Florida, so we met. It's funny, I was on holiday, we met, and she took no notice took no notice of me, and vice versa, because I was here for holidays and friends, and my family knows her family. And then it's funny, the day I was leaving to come home back to England, my flight got cancelled, and there was no one to pick me up for the airport, because I had to reroute to go the next day.
Okay.
Except for Chanel. So my wife now came to pick me up, and got speaking, and that's how
the rest is history.
The rest is history, right? But I was still living in England, so I had to keep coming back every 8 weeks. Can you imagine every single 8
and that's a real long distance.
Real long, because she was not going to have no long distance. She was like, I'm not having a long distance relationship, so you make a decision. It got to that point. So I was like, wow. And again, I do have family here. So I was like, all right, cool. I said, you don't want to come to England though? She says, no, it's too cold. She's from Miami.
Yeah.
So you think like
that's how Florida people, they be,
yeah. She's like,
they act like Atlanta is freezing. So yeah, so I get it.
So I ended up, all right, taking the plunge and coming to America with £100 in my pocket. I left everything, right? I left everything, my family, my mom, everything. And I came to America on the hunch of love. And it was a risk, but I needed to be with her. And like I said, just how I know Ronnie is with you, my wife is everything to me. Like, that's my everything, because she knew that obviously the transition to be here, I wasn't able to work or anything, until papers came through and everything. So I had to sit down, and that's tough for me, because I've always been the front runner, the breadwinner. Go out there and get it. And there was that stage where I couldn't do anything. So I was all relied upon her, right? And she took me on her back and she took care of me and made sure that I was good and comfortable and situated in Florida until I did get everything through. And then I was able to transition that over. But that was everything to me. So I think I say that to say this. I feel that the relationship of me and my wife kind of got me out of music depression before I could sink into, oh, here we go again. What am I going to do? It was like this new, shiny toy of, I've met love, and
Right.
I want to see what this is about now, because this is not career-based now, right? This is reality. And I'll be honest with you, man, I think at that point my life changed in the sense of just knowing what true responsibility is, because I've always had everything from 14 years old my way.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So in the sense of I wanted to be, a professional soccer player, I'd done it. Wanted to be an artist, I'd done it. So coming to America, it was a whole different book. Like no one warned me, man. Like you really got to put the work in. Like there's no, you know what I mean? Like there's no healthcare for free. I'm used to having free healthcare and free education, and England had everything free. Taxes are higher, but it's free, right? In that sense. But here is like, nah, if you ain't got it, you're going to suffer. And I was like, wow. So that's when I started that transition of life. Like, wow, this is crazy. Like, we really have to fend for ourselves. If we don't fend for ourselves, we could be on the street. And for me, that was tough because I left everything where I would have been comfortable.
Right.
And that's the magic word we're going to use, comfortable. But sometimes it's not good to be comfortable, right? Because when you be comfortable, then it's like you will never push your limitations. You will never push where you could have been because you're so comfortable. Then I like to be uncomfortable. So I didn't mind it. It was just a shock to me. So like I said, we regrouped, we understood what was going on. It was a shift for me. Even the culture was a shift for me.
I bet, yeah.
Because it was like, it was a bit more, I was exposed to different things, like, what, as you see in the news every day and what we go through and stuff. I saw those things in movies. I didn't know it actually happened, until I started seeing it for myself. And I was like, wow, this country's different. Right? Different. And I used to be on the phone to my mom telling her, she says, you sure you don't want to come back home, whatever? So I said, nah, I'm going to stick it out. I know I always got my place, my home in England, which is still there and stuff, but I want to stick it out and I want to see what America is about. I want to be, even if I'm one of the only people from where I'm from in London to come over to America and crack it, that's my legacy now. That's my, fight. So we done that. And I went straight into being a fitness trainer because, again, I wanted to do something just to get me settled into America, but something fun. So I went into fitness training. And then it's funny. See, everything I do, I push myself and execute so much. I became the first regional fitness manager for Planet Fitness in South Florida. There was never a regional fitness director, period, in South Florida. Yeah, and I've got the news cuttings and everything at home still. I was the first. So I was looking over, 7, 8 different clubs.
So was the fitness piece?
That was a bypass. It wasn't a passion, wasn't it?
I was about to get to it. I was about to say, like was that?
Actually, just
so how'd you get from the fitness piece into healthcare and now becoming a prince? Not just healthcare, but the prince of home healthcare. Right.
So I done fitness, done a bit of coaching because that's still my passion, football. So I done a bit of football coaching on the side. And again, I'm trying to find my way in America. And I've done this for years and years and years. In 2019, the biggest, and I'll say this, like the biggest, nobody knows this. I'm just gonna just tell you for the first time ever. 2019, I was hit with medical problems. Nobody knows this. And I was struck down with sickness in 2019 due to overworking, stress, because stress is a killer, right? It's a silent killer. And my diet, man, was all over the place. Like, Miami's all about cocktails and fast food and whatever. And I'm not realizing, and I'm not taking time to relax, and I'm just going at it. I'm going crazy. So 2019, I was struck down, and I was hospitalized, and I think that was like the most craziest time for me because at that time I thought I was invincible. I thought I can't be sick. I can't, no, I'm not. the worst looking shape, or I wasn't, you know, I thought it was based on that, but it's not. It's based on other things, right? Like I said, your mental health and this and that. So when I was struck down, I was in hospital, and I said, man, things have to change, man. I can't keep doing this. And I remember being in the hospital, and I said to my wife, I need to get back to who I was when I was young, and being in front and helping people or inspiring people. I need to get to that. So funny story. I was one day chilling in my hospital bed. I was looking, and I was like, because Miami for me wasn't it for me, because for me it was more a relaxed state. It's a retirement state.
Correct. Yeah.
So I don't feel that the people I was around, and there are people there now that I know that, oh, it's a big thriving state where there are successful entrepreneurs. But where I was based, I didn't see any of that. So for me, I was like, well, I can't be here because this is not pushing me enough. So I'm online and I'm checking. I'm like, where is it that I can find some sort of like, you know, my people that are winning? Like, so I'm online and I'm seeing these entrepreneurs in Atlanta, and I'm seeing like the scene over there, and I'm seeing like, okay, wow, what's going on? Like that. Lamborghinis and this and businesses and there's masterminds. What's going on? You have to understand, in London, England, we've never seen that before. Zero. Like zero. We've never seen that, especially the African Caribbean community. Never seen that. So when I saw that on my app, I never forget, I was Instagram and I saw that, I was like, nah. This is where I need to be. This is Wakanda. Like, this is where it's at. Like, for me, again, coming from a small place in London, it's everything to me. So I told my wife, I started following. I followed. There was one person that had this woman, she had a pink Bentley, right? And this pink Bentley was like, how audacious is that? Look at this woman. Like, she's got a pink wrapped Bentley driving around Atlanta, and I'm thinking, nah, this is too much. So I told my wife, look, you have to trust me. Now remember, she's from Florida.
She's from Florida, yeah. Florida people don't like to leave Florida. I know this.
Do you see what
I do know this?
Right. So I spoke to her and I said, you have to trust me. I'm gonna take us to the next level, but you have to trust me. I'm gonna tell you that we're gonna have to move. We're gonna leave everything we know here, just like I did in London. I need you to trust me. If it doesn't work in 1 year, I promise we'll come back to Florida, right? Because they're here. We're only like an hour and a half on the plane ride. But just trust me. She said, okay, let's go. So I got better. I packed my bags. We packed our bags, the kids, everything. And then we left. We left within, I would say, 2020. Flew out here looking for places, blah, 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 came. And then we finally moved in the ending of 2020. And I'll be honest with you, family wasn't happy, her family, because that's all they know. But I needed them to trust me with this one. Because from what I saw, and this could have been a risk, what I saw, this is where I need to be. Mm-hmm. So the people that I followed, I said to my wife, look, I'm going to meet this 1% group, all right? Because I know they're making millions, and I know we're not. And I know they're driving the greatest cars, and they got the biggest houses, and they're killing it, and they're doing masterminds, and, you know. But I said it. I spoke it. I said to myself, when I first met you and you didn't know who I was, I'm going to be on TSP.
Yep.
I said it. You understand? Like, it's that conviction of just knowing, right? So anyway, back to it. So when I moved there was an event. I never forget, it was an event, and we was having dinner. We was packing in. Her family came to, pack us in and, help us settle in. And they were going for dinner. We were set to go dinner. I said, listen, there's an event tonight. I can't be at this dinner. And they were upset.
Yeah, another thing.
Like, come on. Yeah, like, mum was there. I said, I can't. Something's telling me I got to be at this event. And it was an event.
What was the event?
It was a open party at the Loft in Atlanta. Mr. and Mrs. 2 weeks out. Mm-hmm. They're like, some of the biggest fitness entrepreneurs in Atlanta. Jason, right? Mr. 2 weeks out and Mr. 2 weeks out. They had an event, and I went down to that event by myself.
Hold on, but your wife's people like, you trying to go to a party.
I know.
You like, so there's a networking event to people. They're like, man, this is a party. We can see right through this. We're like, look, that's like in London, this BS might fly. But listen, we from South Florida. We know a party when we see a party.
That's exactly what they said. But I just had that gut, Lamar. I just said, I have to be there. Like, the way they put the poster and, yeah, come down, stop by. I was like, no, I gotta be there, man. And they was like, but you don't have anyone to roll with. Nobody knows you.
What was the goal? Was your goal like, hey, I'm just to meet them? Like, did you have a goal?
No, my
was
goal
like,
was
I just need to be in the room.
I just need to be in the room.
And something, see if something may happen.
That's
just
what it is.
The spirit of expectation is something may happen if I get in the room.
Yes, that's exactly what it was. Is I just need to be in the room because I feel like, and again, the people even that I followed, the major people, I didn't even know that they were going to be there at the time, but I just knew that there was going to be some sort of industry from Atlanta at this party, at this event. So I went down there by myself. I went into the door. And I'm standing there by myself and I'm seeing like hundreds of people. And I'm like, okay, music's playing. I'm like, all right, cool. And then, Lord and behold, Mr. 2 Weeks Out, Jason, he must have turned around and he saw me and he says, you good? You all right? Everything good? I don't know if he might have thought that, I don't know if I trust this guy or, do you know what I mean? Or, do you know what I mean? I don't know. But he came up to me and said, you good? So I said, yeah. And then he said, oh, you got an accent. What's your accent? So I said, oh, I'm from London, England. So I think at the time he might have thought, oh, you flew all the way to London for this event? So I kind of rolled with it for a minute just to see like, yeah. And it's like, but he was so gracious and he was cool, man. And from then, like every time I see him now, we've called, you know what I mean? Like he's a good dude, man. Him and Mrs. 2 Weeks, like great people, great couple. So he introduced me to a few people. He said, yeah, come with me, man. Let me introduce you to a few people. So I was like, wow. This is crazy.
So at this point, I'm assuming you're thinking, this is everything I came for.
Yeah.
I'm glad I came.
Yes.
When I get back, I'm going to tell Chanel and her people.
Yeah, I'll be on the couch. I'll be sleeping on the couch, but I can explain to her on the couch that
at least something came out of it.
Exactly.
Right.
So he introduced me. The first person he introduced me to was Alex, Good Energy, who, again, great guy. Every time I see him, good friend. He's a lovely guy. He was speaking to me and he was like, yeah, you're from London, that we have the same background, Jamaican root background. Alex family's from Jamaica, my family's Jamaican, so we had that lingo as well going on. And he, killing it with the trucking industry. And then it kept introduced. And I was like, is this for real? And then they introduced me to a guy named Brad. And he seemed bubbly. And he seemed very excited to be talking to me. So
Brad is a bubbly dude. He's a bubbly dude, right?
Energy, right? That guy, bloody hell.
And y'all remember we had Brad on the show a few episodes ago.
See how this ties together.
Y'all remember, right? Okay,
yeah.
okay.
So he was speaking, and he said to me, yeah, I feel your energy. Your energy is amazing. Listen, why don't you give me a call in the week or when we have a game night. They have this game night, right, where entrepreneurs hook up, and they have this private game night. And I'm like, what? You're inviting me to the game night? He said, yeah, come by the house. I was like, oh, call my wife. Yeah, you never guess what? I meant this, whatever. I was gassed. I was excited and I was gassed.
So what was her initial?
When I phoned her?
Yeah. Was she like, great, babe, I'm glad you went? Or was she like, man, look, you better get back to the house? Which way did that go?
She was 50-50. She was like, yeah, okay, all right, let's see. I don't think she believed me because I called it a year before that I was gonna do this. Yeah. So she was like, she don't like to lose a bet. So I was like, all right, cool. So anyway, I left that party. I didn't stay too long because I didn't want to get on her nerves. So I left. And I didn't think that they would contact me or anything. I just thought it was, we'll hook up. Yeah. Lord and behold, a week later, I get a text. I'm in a group. Someone put me in a group. I'm like, oh my God, I see everyone's name. Like, okay. Yeah, you're invited to the game night tonight. So I'm like, oh, we gonna do this.
With short notice.
Yeah, short notice. No week, no, tonight. So I didn't even say no. I just showed my wife. I said, what do you think? She already changed her mood. She was like, yeah, you gotta go to that. You gotta go to that.
Good.
So I'm like, oh, so you on side. Okay, let's go. So I went down there. And I'm seeing everyone and I'm meeting more and more people. Right. I guess the excitement for everyone was, oh, he's from London. So I'm like,
you was milking that London thing, boy. You're like,
I just feel like,
it makes you stand out.
It did, but it made me feel weird at first because then I was like, I don't think I fit in. But then someone said to me, no, be you.
Right.
Be who you are, because it's not 10, 20.
Because that was the thing that made you stand.
Right,
Again, that's the thing. That's the thing that made you special.
Exactly. So I had to learn that. So I was like, all right, cool. Yep, that's me. That's who I'm from. That's where I'm from. Great. Then I'm talking to Brad, and Brad's talking, and I'm like, so if we revert back to a year ago, I said the first person I followed was this girl with the pink Bentley. She started walking down the stairs. So I've met everyone, and I'm like, yo, Brad, this is the girl I followed a year ago. A year ago, I said I was coming here, but it was that pink Bentley. This woman had this thing. She's the one I followed. You know what he told me? That's my wife.
Yeah. And make sure if you didn't, we had Tron on the show too. Make sure you get
Oh my
a few episodes.
God.
Make sure you go. If it's your first episode, you got to go back and watch that too.
I think that was the most epic moment when he said, that's my wife. I said, so you're telling
It all ties together for you
it
now.
ties something, because remember, I didn't know who Brad was when I followed her, right?
Yeah.
When I got introduced to him a different way, then he brought me into his circle. Then he introduced me back to the same person I followed a year ago that made me want to go to Atlanta. And when that came together, it was like, wow. And I told her, and to this day, me and Tronda laugh about it all the time. And it's like one of the most amazing things. And I said to myself, I always remember on that hospital bed, I said, I'm going to move to Georgia and I'm going to be a part of that. And not only did I become a part of it, they were all my friends. We travel together, we travel the world together, we do masterminds together, they teach me a lot, vice versa. Like, it's been crazy. And it was in a quick, split over time. It wasn't based off 5-10 years or thing. It was just like, I came.
But that's important. And I want to just put a pin in that for a second for everybody listening, because a lot of times we talk about, people think I need this special strategy.
Right.
Or I need to know all these things. A lot of times you need to know the right people.
Yes.
A lot of times you need to get in the right circle, right? And that can quickly catapult you from wherever you're at. And it could be from starting out to being in a group of people that sees. And it could be from being, I'm already successful to being more successful.
Yes.
But so much is in the people that we connect with, in the circle that we have around us.
Yes. That you're exactly right. I think that's the number one thing. Like your environment is who you are. Like if you're around successful entrepreneurs, like I said, you have 10 successful, you have to become the 11th. Even when I had nothing, and you know what, the crazy thing, I'll be honest with you, the crazy thing for me is that, okay, all these guys and girls have a lot of money, success, they've put in the work, this, that, great. And I really didn't have anything. So I didn't know if I was worthy to be in there. I'll be honest with you, man. I was like, this is a bit nerve-wracking, because it's like, I don't know what to talk to you about.
Yeah.
Is that case. And then it was my birthday the same year. And I remember Brad trying to throw me like a little private party at the golf place. What's it called again? Top
Golf.
Right. And that was everything for me. And everyone came out and it was amazing. It was eating. And I was like, right, y'all doing this for me? You don't even hardly know me. And I just thought, like, I've never seen that before. That's crazy that you would do that. They threw that for me. So, and it was that night that Brad said to me, you need to do home health care. And I'm like, what? Why?
Because it's Brad. He's already done a multiple seven-figure.
He's been in the game. Like, we call him the Godfather. Like, he's done it like 8-10 years. He's already done it, right? He's done. So when he's telling me that, I'm like, yeah. And he's helped other people do it prior. Right. So when he told me, at first I was a bit, I don't know if he's just trying to sell me on something. I didn't know. I mean, really, I don't know if
he did the whole party for you.
Yeah,
that would be the perfect scene to sell you something.
Right? It was just like perfect, like, okay. And I started going, but I knew he was. But I was like, you know what? He told me that, and I said, all right, cool. Let me look into it. But I started aligning everything. Like, remember, my mom been in the healthcare for over 30 years. Right. And there comes this guy that God's put me in front of and tell me again, no, you need to be in the healthcare. And I'm like, my mom told me this years ago, right? Which was trying to get me in to understand and teach me compassion. So it took me about a month or two to really think about it. And me and wifey said, all right, you know what? let's see it, man. It wasn't a passion of mine. I'll be honest with you.
Yeah.
Like, can I just be real?
Yeah.
I don't want to like.
Yeah, please do.
Because people just, they always say the shiny objects just to make this look cool. I'm just going to be real with you. It was not a passion of mine.
You weren't like, if this football thing don't
think
work,
about
I'm gonna get in there. I'm becoming the prince of the home healthcare if the football thing don't work.
No.
That wasn't the initial plan.
I'm thinking, entertainment. What's next? You know what I mean? I might be a golfer, or I don't know. So it had to resonate with me. Like, all right, cool. And it was when they invited me they done an event where they went to Walmart. I think it got national attention where they went to Walmart and spent like $100,000 on the community, giving back, right, helping families and feeding them. It was that day that I thought, oh, I love this feeling. They invited me, and I was bagging that day. I was just bagging. And even though people was like, thank you so much, whatever, I'm like, well, it wasn't me. I just went up my I'm just helping back. But I like the feeling of you saying thank you. That means I want to do that.
Right.
Like, I want to see that person happy. I want to see that person happy. I love the way. Look how she's crying. Look how just from a Christmas shopping, she gets to save that couple $100 now, and she can focus on other things, right?
Yeah. So did you tell Brad yes that day, or was it still later? Like you still thought about it?
It was that day. After the whole event, I said, all right, we need to talk. I want to do this. I want to do this. This is just for that though. Yeah. Again, I didn't care about the shiny objects of what the profit could bring. It was more about, wow, this is crazy. I didn't really have passion for it, but I felt it was maybe a purpose now. Mm-hmm. So, we got situated. They hooked me up with information, what I have to do. And I said, yeah, tell me what I have to invest in. Notice what I said. Tell me what I have to do to invest. I don't want no handouts or nothing.
Yeah.
I want to pay my way. I want to invest. Because I want to support you as my friend and make sure that you getting what you deserve. Mm-hmm. But I need you to give me the knowledge or the fishing rod so I can feed my family now. So that's what we done. We spoke. We went into it. I invested in myself, and he taught me what he needed to teach me. And we started the process of doing it. What made me feel amazing was the fact that I done my license and I got my license. Watch this now. When I went for my license, he told me it takes about 18 months, maybe a year. I got it in 3 months.
Wow.
90 days. No, sorry. That was the Medicaid part. I got my license, my state license, in 30 days. Something that takes 9 months to a year.
Now, what was so short about? Does it normally take a long time just because of legal paperwork and stuff like that, or is it like some tests you had to take or something?
No, it was a lot of paperwork that we had to go through, right? And that's why it takes, and it says it take you between 6 months to a year, maybe even 18 months. So you have to understand. But watch this. I'm sorry I skipped this part. I was working when I came to Georgia. Mm-hmm. Obviously, I was working, doing my training, soccer training, something like that. On the day. And this is what confirmed. On the day that I got my license is the same day that I got fired from my job. Mm-hmm. So in the morning, I got fired from my job because I think I had I broke my toe and I was out for 2 weeks, and then I had COVID, and then I was out for another 3-4 weeks, and they didn't like the fact that they had to keep paying me under my contract, right? And they didn't like that. So they was able to say, what, this is crazy. So we parted ways, I would say more of parted ways. And on that day, again, I was like, I came to Georgia, no job. What are you going to do? This is crazy. That night, I got an email saying that I got my license on the same day. And that's what confirmed me. Like, God's got my back. That's what confirmed me. You understand? Imagine losing your job in the morning, not knowing how you're going to feed your family. And you're in another state. Right. And then later that night, I got the email.
That's good.
Saying.
So let me ask you this. When you looked at healthcare, other than Brad telling you why, right? Somebody watching now may be like, healthcare, like what about healthcare?
Right.
Why healthcare? Like talk about how big that opportunity is.
Oh man. Well, first of all, healthcare for me is like the biggest industry, right? Because everyone needs healthcare. It don't matter what job you do. I don't care if you're an entrepreneur. I don't care what you do in life. Everybody needs healthcare, right? So first of all, that's $1 trillion industry to be in, right? whether you're doing home health care, doctor, medical transportation, it goes on and on and on and on. You can just groom your business to something out of this world. So that was the fact that the opportunity of growing in this thriving industry was
so
amazing,
big,
huge, right? Yeah. And then it was the need of giving and helping people. You see, I learned to love what I do, and I'll tell you how I got into the name and everything, but I learned to love doing what I do because I love to help people. I literally, when I got my first client and saw the tears in their eyes and said, I saved them, and the second client said the similar thing, and then the third, and it kept going, I just got addicted to this. I'm addicted to marketing and getting clients, not only to just grow my business, but just to know that I'm helping this family. You understand? So I'm making an impact on the family.
Yeah.
I'm making an impact on the work economy because now I'm hiring so many nurses, so many CNAs, so many LPNs. Yeah. We're going to talk about that. And then I'm making an impact on my family.
Now, for somebody watching, like, what exactly is home health care? Because a lot of people may not be familiar with home health care business.
So home health care is when we send out nurses, LPNs, CNAs, PCAs, right, into the home. So instead of being in hospital where it costs, a lot of money to be in hospital, we're telling you, you can go in your home and we can send the medical assistants into the home to look after you, okay? Whether it be non-medical or, or medical. Whether it's medical, we'll send the nurses and the LPNs and the team around you just to make sure you're comfortable, and your living is great. If non-medical and you need help with bathing or feeding, we can send that. We send CNAs or PCAs into the home to help them.
And for your business, are these like older people? They're younger people?
So I started,
because a lot of times I know people think of home health care
is the older
seniors, right? Like I think naturally, when I used to first hear about it, and I just think, okay, you taking care of seniors,
right?
But it doesn't necessarily have to be.
No, my market, which I started in, is pediatrics. Right?
Wow.
So you have the seniors, which is the bigger market, which we've just gone into. I'll tell you about that. It's an exclusive. But we started with pediatrics because that's what Brad was doing, and everyone around him, he made, like I said, other successful companies. They were all doing that, so it was only natural for me to let me just follow the blueprint.
Exactly.
Let me not go a different route.
That's a nugget. Yeah.
Let me follow that.
A lot of people try to take something.
Yeah, I don't get
a course, mentorship, man, no matter what it is, and be like, okay, that's how you doing it. Yeah. All right, I'm gonna change these two things.
No,
it did. I'm going to
follow the blueprint, and it works, right? And I followed the blueprint. Now, the only thing I would give, he always, if you speak to him and you ask him or even Tron, they always give me and Chanel the credit. I give them the credit for even just opening eyes, but they give us the credit based on this, and I understand. When they did it. Remember, they've been legends 8, 10
for a long time,
right? Long times. But post-pandemic, I became the post-pandemic kid because I done it a little different marketing wise to build my company, because 10 years ago it's different to now after post COVID.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? So I can't be doing the exact same thing of what they were doing 10 years ago. I had to come with my own formula and my own blueprint on top of what I learned from them to create a powerhouse to build my company up. And that's what I mastered. I was able to do that and build my company very, 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 very quickly. And that's what it's about, right? You're supposed to do that. You're supposed to let the mentee grow and get to that level. Then I can hand down the bat.
And that right there, I tell people all the time that if they come under the mentorship of somebody,
right,
it should not be your mentor's role or their desire to keep you under them. You know what I mean? Like, because there's a lot of people, like a lot of ego gets in the way, and a lot of, like a lot of that stuff gets in the way. And my thing is like, I love it when clients build businesses larger than mine.
Right.
Now, what I tell them is, I don't think I ain't coming for you. I think what I tell them is, don't think you're going to leave me behind. You're not going to leave me behind.
Yes.
I'm going to applaud you. I love you.
Yes. But you've now given me back the energy to say, oh, really?
But I'm coming, Don't try to leave me like some old man in the dark. I'm coming for it.
That's exactly how it was. And that's as I was saying, like, he put, I said this to him the other day, I said, man, you put like some mad battery in my back, because what you've exposed me to, I'm taking this, like, I love it, like, Georgia, whatever, but you have to understand, I'm not from Georgia. Yeah. So my reach is coming different. Like, I've got people I'm connecting with in Canada, in Australia, in Europe. So my thing is built different, right?
Yeah.
And it's going to take time. You know, I got a 5-year plan, but it's gonna get there, and I know what I'm doing, and I know what I'm going for, and I know why I branded myself who I am, which we'll get into.
And I want to ask about that because the Prince of Home Healthcare, is that their 5-year plan to create other companies and give other people the vehicle to success and wealth like you have yourself?
Exactly, and that's what we're doing right now. I was actually labeled that from a client the parent said to me, "You're my prince," and I'm like, "Why?" Because you help save my family, and if I didn't get your services, I don't know if my child would be living today. So you're always going to be my prince. So we were joking about it. I was like, yeah, I like that, Prince of Home Healthcare. And she says, that's it. That's who you are. You are our Prince of Home Healthcare. And then I thought about it, and then I was like, yeah, I love that. Now I could have said, you know, people would be like, oh, the king. I would never call myself the king because there's so many kings out there that's pointed, right? And I'm not egotistic like that, number one, right? And like I said, I respect who I respect as godfathers and godmothers of the game. But I call myself the prince because it's like the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. I'm the Fresh Prince of Home Healthcare. Kind of rhymes, right? I like that, right? That's the rap now, joking. So I was named that from a patient, and then I took that on, and I just said, yeah, that is who I am. I am the Prince of Home Healthcare, where I'm going to not only help these families in need all over the world, right? But I'm going to be able to help entrepreneurs or like-minded figures that want to get into the business and want to scale their business and want to reach. Because if I can help you and you help 100 families, I've helped you save 100 families, right? And if I can do that, multiply that by 10 and 100 different entrepreneurs in home healthcare, that's amazing.
I got 3 questions I want to ask you that I know that our viewers that are saying, okay, is this an opportunity for me? I know that they got.
Right.
Number one, do the families that you serve or that they'll serve have to be wealthy? Do the families have to have wealthy? Do they have to have money? Because I know they're thinking like, okay, like who's going to pay for all of this?
No. So like the particular program that we're under is a GAP program, which is Medicaid provided this, and we give free in-home services. Free.
So it's a benefit to the people because they don't even have to pay out of their pocket, but they get better home care.
Yes, they get the home health care, they get all the services they need, and Medicaid pay for that.
And I would assume that make it much easier for you to market because you're telling them like,
I'm from you. I'm just giving you.
Exactly.
Right? So I take an instance for today when I was driving here to the studio, you guys got you got a health center on the corner. Mm-hmm. And there was a person, a guy, he was trying to cross the road with his wheelchair. So I actually stopped the car and pushed him across, right? Just like an hour ago before I got here. And he was like, why did you do that for me? Because I said, I need to make sure you're safe so you can get back into the center. And he says, what do you do? So I was telling him like what I do. And he said, can I have your card? Because, I'm going to need this type of help. But is there something that I can do? Like, my family will pay and whatever. And I says, depending on if you have certain insurances, which he did. I said, no, you're going to get free services. I'm actually going to help you. This was today.
I need a commission off of that.
Yeah. That's
because if you weren't coming here, you would have got that business.
But that was God. He brought me here. And so you see what I'm saying? So it's like, but I'm just trying to show you how it's so. And that's like another client. So I, text my team and my wife and say, yeah, we're about to get another client. The family's gonna, contact you tonight at 6, and we're gonna enroll them. But this is how easy it is.
Let me ask you the second question. Right. So we cleared that up.
Yes.
So y'all paying attention, right? Watch these questions. I know y'all got them, right? So number one, they don't have to have money, right?
Nope.
It's programs and the government assistance that can actually pay for it, usually providing the service.
Yes.
Number two, somebody's saying, well, do I have to be a nurse, a doctor, or a healthcare professional to run a business like this?
No, I'm not a nurse. I'm not a doctor. I have zero experience. I had zero experience in the medical field. You don't need none of that, okay? All you need is a compassionate heart, the willing to learn and the willing to execute, and you'll be able to run a business like mine very easily. And that's a big myth, because I heard that coming into it. Oh, so you must be a doctor, or you have to be a nurse. Yeah. I'm like, no, you don't. So
anybody can, if you're watching this, anybody can get started in this business.
Anyone can start. Like, you can start now and start getting your first client, and you start. It's amazing.
Okay.
It's
all
amazing.
Right. The third question, I know people got it just watching, right? Mm-hmm. Somebody's saying, well, this sounds interesting, but I'm scared of the liability. Right. Like, if I go in, if somebody gets hurt, something happens, is insurance for it sky high and I can't afford to get into this type of business because insurance is going to be too much?
No.
Is it Is this something I should be extremely worried? I mean, of course, you're worried about taking care of people.
Yeah, that's in any field.
Any field, yeah.
Any field, you have to be careful. But we have, you have your insurance, your liability. It's not expensive at all to get in. Like, people have this thing of like, you have to pay, thousands and thousands to get in, or you need to be a doctor or this and that. You don't need that. Like, it's, again, knowledge is key. Once you know the right people, or once we can help serve you and give you the right key, it's easy. Again, I got my license within 3 months, and then I got my Medicaid license within 30 days, and then I got my Medicaid license in 3 months. So all in all, it took 4 months to get me all set up and ready to go. That's unheard of. That's crazy, right?
How long? It took 4 months to get going.
Stop.
How long? Because I know you built it to a 7-figure business.
Right.
How long to build that first 7 figures?
So it took me just under 9 months to be $1 million company.
Wow.
And it's funny because
I should have had a home healthcare business. It took me way longer than that.
That was my first try, though. That's what was killing it. But here's 2 things. It's funny because it was way past the $1 million mark at 9 months. So I didn't even track it. It could have been like much sooner. Now we just, I remember we were out and I said, let me check the numbers. I was like, oh, snap, $1 million company. So that was then. But now I'm more in the fact of, because how I know it works is because there's people doing it even quicker, right? 7 months, 6 months, 4 months, 3 months. I've been working with families, and they're doing it in rapid time. I'm not gonna put their business out there, but they're doing it in.
But what I'm seeing here, right? The common thread between you when you started and the people that you're helping now,
right,
is having a blueprint,
right,
and having a mentor.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Because just because you start any kind of business, I don't care what it is, don't mean you're going to be successful.
Nope.
But when you got the blueprint, right, people always say, like, there's no shortcut. Right. In business, there is a shortcut.
Yes, there is.
The shortcut is get with somebody that's already done it, and that can show you exactly step by step by step. Do this, do this, do that.
Right.
Don't do those things.
Right.
Already made those mistakes. Right. Come over here and do these things. This is where the opportunity is.
But that's exactly what happened. So this is why it's so, and I need people to listen to this. It's so important to have a mentor, right? Because think about it, like you just said, you can do it by yourself, and I'm not saying you can't, I don't want to put that out there. You can do it by yourself. But like you said, you're going in blind. You're going in like, it's a risk. Why risk years and years of trying to figure it out when you have a mentor that can steer you in the exact place of where you want it? If I done it myself, I would have done it because I'm persistent and I would have made it. Yep. But it would have took me about at least 2 or 3 years to hit that. I'll be honest with you, right? It wouldn't have took me under 9 months. It took me about 2 or 3 years. But because I had a mentor at the time holding my hand and saying, okay, don't do that. And then I was to phone him and say, what about this? And can I do this? And yeah, you can do that. And can I have this type of client?
That's the shortcut.
Like, yeah, I can get that type of client? All right, cool. Let me bet. So that's that shortcut. It really does work. It really does. Like, it's amazing. So that's what I'm trying to do now. I'm trying to like, the biggest flaw, what we have in home healthcare history is 2 things: staffing, very hard to get great staffing, and clients, right? This company is like, oh, I've had my company for 2 years and I only have, 8 clients. And I'm like, well, that don't make sense. That's crazy, right? Like, I had 8 clients in my first week.
So these are the things you can directly help you.
Yes.
Now, look, hold on, right?
I want to help them.
I want to talk about this. So I know you got a way that you're helping people now with something you just recently launched.
Right.
Before we go there, right? I want to end on this before we go to how you can help the people.
Right.
And y'all gonna love this. First, we talked about your personal journey, your business journey.
Right.
You talked about 3 things coming together, and I've heard you, tell me about those things, right?
Yes.
Tell me what these 3 pieces are, why they're important, and then I want to get to how these people can get a hold of you and what you just released.
Perfect. So we call this the pyramid of success, right? Especially, it can work in any field, right? Any industry, any field, but this is what we use for home healthcare, the pyramid, right? Which is purpose, passion, and then profit. The 3 Ps, right? Mm-hmm. Super 3 Ps. Purpose, passion, profit. Purpose, because purpose is that calling, right? That calling, those things, those pins and needles in your stomach that you know what you're doing is just meant to do this, right? So that's my purpose. And again, home healthcare or healthcare was not a passion for me. So I knew that you see, people don't understand, you can lead with passion first and you can go to a dead end.
Correct, yeah.
Right? Music was a passion. Soccer was a passion. Dead end, right? But purpose was something where God was saying to me, nah, this is what I need you to do. I need you to go help my kids, help my people, right? And I grew to love it so much it became a passion. So after the purpose, and you find your calling, you find your purpose, then comes the passion, because now I'm passionate to get up every day and just, help this client and help that client and help this entrepreneur. And that's, I'm on that every day now, right? And then the profit will come. Don't worry about the profit. Don't go into it for the money, right? The money will come. It's going to be, you have to get paid anyway, right? You have to,
right.
So it's going to come, right? It's just how much you want to make. It's all up to you, right? But that's what I lead with: purpose, passion, and profit. That is my slogan. Like it's been out there probably before and whatever, but I've just kind of adopted that and just run with that, and that's what's kind of made me successful with my company.
I love it. So you harness those three, right? Purpose, passion, profit, and now you've created something to help other people that want to get into home health care.
Yes,
to have success like you have, but even faster. Because now they're going to have the ultimate blueprint. What is that you just created?
So I've got this amazing program, amazing course called the Home Healthcare Marketing Playbook, all right? And what it does is, so the audience that I'm looking for, I haven't ventured to the whole, big scope of it. I just focus on existing businesses or brand new businesses. So you have to be started. You have to already started. You've got your team, operations, whatever, but you're struggling to find clients. You're struggling to find staffing. You're struggling to get great partnerships so you get an influx of clients. I am the guy for that, okay? I've done it with myself, and I've done it with many families that will be coming out to share their story, and they are growing extremely fast, just because of the plays they've taken from my course. And again, I give everything, the course, and then there's the, how to staff that. And then after how to staff that, we got to make sure you get the right partnerships. So, I have a partnership that I just done a deal with, I think it was like 3-4 months ago, and they've already given me 15 clients by themselves. 15 clients can really generate into like $250,000 business by itself. So even if I started again tomorrow and I started with these 15, I've already got a $250,000 company within one play.
Yeah.
I have tons, over 20 different plays in this course. I have information exactly how to staff, because people lose staffing because they don't know how to treat their staff. And they say, people lose staff because they don't know how to treat their staff. I have a whole blueprint of how to get the best staffing. Then I have another blueprint of how to get big partnerships, right? Big hospitals, like I said, the big hospitals, and why they should use your business, and when people get discharged, why they flood that to your business. This is endless, man. My business is unlimited. Like, it's impossible for me to ever stop this because it's just unlimited, and I'm just going to keep going and keep going. But the number one thing I want them to take from my course is that I am here to hold your hand and make sure that you become 6- and 7-figure companies. And I'm the type of person that now, because I have all the freedom, right? Because you got to think, I've got tons and tons of nurses and everything on the front line who I love so much, and they're doing the hard work. I now have the freedom and the time to do great interviews and podcasts like this. Yeah. So I have all the time in the world, right, to travel. So I want to use some of that time now to help these other companies that are struggling, to make sure that they can feed their families and they can feed these kids and these seniors that need help, right?
Oh, yep.
So that's what I want to do. That's what my course is about. The Home Healthcare Marketing Playbook. I promise you, we're going to help you find the clients. We're going to help you staff the clients, and then we're going to help you get amazing partnerships so you get an influx of clients coming in every single month. It's amazing. So,
all right. So how can they find the course? How can they find you?
Right. So homehealthcaremarketingplaybook.com. Go to that link, get signed in. Let's have a talk. Let's get into it, and I'll show you exactly what we're going to do. Or you can find me on Instagram, London Boy Living. So that's just me day to day, not just about the business, but just me with my kids, traveling, having fun, and just life, not just about selling or business, but it's about just having a great life and a great balance. My mom always says balance is key, right? So, and that's what London Boy Living is about. That's who I am. So you can find me on London Boy Living on Instagram. All the rest of the handles, TikTok, YouTube, is Prince of Home Healthcare. Okay. And again, the course, Home Healthcare Marketing Playbook, is going to be the biggest. When I say the biggest marketing playbook you've seen, because it's going to it's going to boost everything for you within at least 90 days. That I'm going to hold to it because I've done it with so much different families now and different companies. So I'm ready to just give this out.
Perfect. So you heard it here. I know a lot of you are excited, saying, hey, this is a huge opportunity. Make sure you check it out. Make sure you check out Josh Newell. Excited to have him on to talk about his journey. Was that an amazing story? What, y'all? His journey, an amazing story from, the roots of playing soccer. I mean, football.
Wait.
I tried to sneak it in. Football in London to building, right, a huge business in home healthcare, to becoming a prince of home healthcare. Make sure you follow him. Make sure you hit the link. And we'll see you next week with another amazing episode of, guess what? The Traffic Sales and Profit Show.
The Combo, your home for conversations on Black entrepreneurship and wealth, available on your favorite platforms.